Let's get to your calls here as we are discussing and debating the best and worst of 2022. Just to recap, best move, best sports occurrence of 2022, the firing of Cassidy and the hiring of Monty, my man Monty, the bald, brilliant man with the behind the bench for the bees, like that alliteration, Channel 7. Yeah. And worst of 2022 was Bill Belichick's decision to hand over the reins of the offense after the departure of Josh McDaniels to Joe Judge and Matt Patricia. In a quick check, how are the Giants and Lions doing without their guys? Are they surviving? Are they thriving? I don't know. I haven't been paying attention.
The Lions, they've taken a step back, though. Because their coach said that they got their ass kicked.
Yeah, that's true. Like well, he's going to bite a kneecap this week. Yeah. So we're taking your calls on all those things. 617-779-7937. I'm going to tease another thing that I'm unsure of. 9:30 Costos. If we don't have Costos, then I'm going to call up Jackson to give his Week 16 NFL picks. Either way, you're going to be entertained. Matt in the car, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, guys? Loving the show.
Hey, Matt.
I do want to say for the worst moment of sports, close to the pick with Matt Patricia, I would say the worst decision in the sports this year was to bench Mac Jones against the Chicago Bears.
Great
At that
call.
point, pretty much took out all of Mac Jones' confidence and legitimacy as the quarterback of the future, and pretty much made the rest of the season just weeks to get by until we get to next year. Pretty much wasted the season. But that's my pick for the worst pick in the season of the season so far, and thank you, guys.
All right, thank you, Matt. Yeah, that was, of all the dumb things that they have done this year, that is the dumbest. There is no defense for it. There is no explanation. I know the whole, we were going to do it both ways. He told Lisa Salters this and that and the whatever. To bench Mac Jones following that interception when the crowd is cheering for Zappe was a two-fingered salute to double bird middle fingers to Mac Jones.
I don't think I would disagree. I don't think it had anything to do with how bad Mac Jones has been after. But it was the wrong move. It was.
Oh, you don't think that impacted his confidence?
No.
Oh, I totally
no,
disagree.
because he came out in the games after he came out and played better than he has in the last couple games.
Yeah.
So it was trending up after that, and then it started trending down again. The problem was it's another in a long line of inexplicable decisions on this coaching staff, including the communication. That was a big part of that. You just mentioned it. Like, we didn't know what was going on. Okay, fine. We don't know what's going on with the Patriots. But when the players don't know what's going on, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that whole situation
Good
was...
one, though. Good one.
Great ad there, Matt. Let's go to Greg in the truck. What is your worst of 2022, Greg?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Awesome.
Good show. I love it. Hey, I was at the Post Sox game when I was 12, and I got turned down by Mo Vaughn for an autograph. No, worst of the year has definitely got to be the Tatum not showing up in Game 6 of the finals. Got to be, because they were this close to a championship. You know, they could have beat that team. They should have beat that team. They just couldn't get it done because he didn't show up.
Good call, Greg. Honest question: if you were to give sodium pentothal to Jason Tatum and he could only have one, a ring or an MVP, what do you think he would choose?
I think a ring. I think a ring, because I think if you get the ring, that's basically the equivalent of getting an MVP in recognition.
Okay. I think that at best he would say they would be even. Like, I don't think maybe he wouldn't choose it over it, but I think it's pretty close to even for him.
Yeah, but you're talking about street cred, right? I mean, you're talking about street cred when it comes to...
No, I'm not talking about street. I'm talking about what he would prefer.
No, but that's why he would prefer it. It's the street cred, of like the street cred among his peers in the NBA. And I do think that having a ring, having that championship is more powerful than having an MVP.
I guess, fair point. I think if he had won it last year, especially over Curry, that's true. Jeff in New Jersey, good morning. What's on your mind?
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good. Awesome.
Curtis, you're a longtime Raider fan from New Jersey. I discovered you guys in 2020 with the Brady Watch, and I wanted them in Las Vegas, and we found out a lot about what happened this year, with Gronk and Dana White. But I wanted to get Curtis's take on the latest happenings. I mean, when you look at it, with McDaniels there, Carr's obviously out, as long as Brady doesn't retire, which is certainly possible, do you think it's – where would you put it right now? If Brady's going to play another year, I don't even know if he should or shouldn't, but if he is, where do you think he's going? He's not staying in Tampa.
So this is fluid, as you know, Jeff. For me,
Yeah.
I think the best opportunity and the most sense, despite where it is the 49ers. That is a turnkey situation. You get there, but I saw where they put Nancy Brady and his family at the game. They were in the last row of the bleachers.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem like the full court press is going
It was
on.
also the wrong stadium. It was weird.
Well,
I know.
doesn't it seem like the 49ers really kind of almost said no to Brady twice?
They did.
Could they go a third time at 46?
Well, so here's what I think. If they don't win the Super Bowl this year, let's say they lose in the divisional round or the NFC Championship, then it makes it much more likely that Brady goes there because Lynch and Shanahan need to win. Other than them, I am now fully on board with Wiggy, who's been saying all along that the Dolphins are not bought in with Tua. The Dolphins would be number 2.
That's a good one, yeah.
Because he already, as you've alluded to, he's got the place that he's going to have to put on VRBO if he doesn't play for the Dolphins. And then number 3 would be the Raiders. I would say that the issues, I will need Fourier to explain this publicly at some point, but there was something between Josh and Tom. I don't know whether that's been fine. I don't know what it was. I candidly don't. But that would be my only reason against that. But I think Vegas, they will be able to, offer him a lot of things. And he could conclude his career in the same stadium. He could play a home game in the Super Bowl again.
That's kind of appealing, I would think, to him.
I like the
Especially
Dolphins.
now, it does seem like Gronk is coming back too, right? Doesn't that seem to tense?
I don't know, Jeff. I appreciate the call. I would say the Gronk thing is he's finally realized that he's not compelling about anything unless he talks about football and coming back. Like Gronk on his own is not exactly the brightest bulb. And so he goes on these interviews with USAA or whatever company he's working with, and he talks about a potential return because then he's trending on Twitter. He's a big story again. Unless he's sort of flirting with a return to the NFL, there's not really much there. The
weird thing, that's the point. The weird thing about Gronk is that those commercials are fine. But what you found in his previous retirement is that he's not really good at anything else.
No.
And these people are like, oh, he's going to be an actor. He's going to do that. Like, no, he's not. He's going to be on Fox. He was, God bless him, he was terrible.
Awful.
And so.
And they had to prod him like, okay, Gronk, you're going to say X. I'm going to say this. And it was even.
It's just not made for him. I mean, maybe you have the WWE or whatever it is. The biggest question in 2023 for Chris Curtis, this by far the biggest question.
Okay.
Is will you go see 80 for Brady?
Oh, God, no.
Okay.
I still haven't gone back and watched Super Bowl 42 or 46. I cannot watch losses well with Brady, and 80 for Brady is a giant loss. What a horrible idea.
I thought it was a thing that was going to be on, in the depths of Netflix or something. But I went to a movie the other day, front and center, in the previews, the whole deal, Academy Award winner, who's in it? Jane Fonda, Rita Moreno, Sally Field, all these people. And I'm like,
Glenn Ordway.
They're actually treating this like a real movie. It's kind of crazy. But Chris, of all the movies, you're not going to see 80 for Brady?
I am sorry. It is so. Even the
you're jealous, aren't you?
Oh, I'm very jealous. But even the Jim Gray interviews, I can't listen to those. They're so forced and fake. And like the issue with Tom, one of his few, is that he is a star effer to the nth degree.
Oh yeah, of course.
And it's like he does like on there with like Jim Gray and Snoop Dogg, and it's so awkward. Like. And that's the way he's going to be. Like, he's going to be, Radio Row, Hawking, whatever, with,
Well, it's weird with Brady because you remember the first half of his career, his endorsements were like nothing. Right. It was Tag Heuer and maybe
it was Visa with the entire
Uggs.
Offensive line.
Uggs.
With
right,
the goat pick.
But there was like next to nothing. And now it's like there's been a lot of swings and misses, including, by the way, crypto.
Well, he's going to be in litigation for that. I don't know how it works, but that was an awful idea. And it's, that's why I think he's continuing to play. He said something interesting yesterday. He said, we're all happier when we're on the field. He was asked about the center, Ryan Jensen, who was returning to practice for the Bucs.
Yeah.
And it's a throwaway line. We're all happier out there. But I genuinely think he is petrified of what his life would be like without it. and what he would do with all this energy.
I think that's
and time.
inarguable.
And so it's going to not end well, unfortunately, but the Bucks somehow have a shot to clinch the division.
Do you think that he ever utters a word on a Fox broadcast?
I've said no for a long time, but he keeps talking about it. He mentioned, because he was asked about Collinsworth calling him out on the Sunday night Christmas broadcast.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I'll have my chance soon. Maybe I'll go after these guys. You know, I don't know. To me, it's something that is a lose-lose for Tom, because you're only good if you're critical.
Yeah.
And if you're critical, you make enemies. And that doesn't seem to be something Tom wants to do. So I could be wrong. I don't think he's ever calling a game on Fox.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, like, one thing Peyton Manning is no question about it, is better at is the media stuff.
Oh, totally.
And he would be a better broadcaster. I understand why Fox did it, but you're absolutely right. Once he gets up to that booth, if he does do it, one and done. And
look at how Tom conducted his interviews here, even his final year, with Greg. He intentionally wanted to do it so nothing he said could be used against him. He didn't want the headache of having to answer anything else. Well, the only way you're good at being a broadcaster is if you say, he had Mac Jones had Jacoby Myers wide open running down the seam and nobody saw him. And then Tom's going to be ripped for ripping the guy that he replaced. There's all that stuff that I just don't envision Brady wanting to be part of.
Know how it is with that broadcast. If you're a former player and you go halfway, it's worse.
Right.
Either go in all in one way or all in the other. So we talked about a year. I don't know. We got to go to trending, but a year ago, how things were. Well, a year from now, maybe we can answer this after the break. What are we going to be talking about with Tom Brady? I think that is a fascinating question.
I love it. You get me talking Brady anytime. And best and worst of the year.